there's some areas where the impact will be more on developing world diseases where there's not much profit opportunity. Malaria, diarrheal diseases, there's not as big a rich world market. And so to tilt the odds so that we'll do risky research on those diseases, we have made what are called program-related investments. Anacor, which was expert in these boron molecules, we saw through assays that those molecules were particularly effective for neglected diseases. And so to make sure they could go full speed ahead, we made an investment. That one actually came out very well because it turned out their molecules not only were helpful for the diseases we prioritized, but for some others as well, and they ended up being acquired.
And the money that the Gates Foundation made as a result of that is going to be recycled into the program,
exactly.
Right?
When you do this program-related investment, you put money out, but any money that comes back then is redonated. So you're not ending up making money. You're just cycling the money through, and we do that for some non-drug things like helping charter schools get cheap rent. We've used it. We have about $1 billion in total in that category.
In the world of biotech and perhaps even more so bioengineering, where do you personally, or where do you and Melinda draw the line? What's too risky, too dangerous, or perhaps too ethically challenging?
Well, fortunately, most of the things we do don't get you anywhere close to a boundary there. Sometimes it feels like the restraints on how we go out and do drug trials and recruit and stuff like that feels a bit like we're over constrained, so that the cost and the time are a bit slow. But fine, that's how it's done. That's great. I wish that a lot of HIV tools had moved along faster. We're impatient to get those things going. But the idea of saving lives when you've got almost 6 million children a year still dying, it's pretty clear cut. It's just that the resources haven't been there.
So do you feel as though the foundation should be perhaps spending more money on these kinds of investments that accelerate development and allow things to survive perhaps in a way that they wouldn't if they were just left to the Darwinian environment of venture capital?
Well, capitalism in general underfunds research because the benefits to society are much greater than what the innovator captures. And so it's always been known that it's underfunded. The other thing that's underfunded is things that benefit people with very little money because their voice in the marketplace is weak. And so where you see those two combining in a dramatic way is that research on diseases of the poorest, that is very underfunded, no doubt, and therefore philanthropy and governments have to come in and say malaria is a priority despite the fact that people aren't going to make much money. And so we go to the pharma companies and we say, hey, we'll fund some of this. They donate some of it. So we've gotten their attention, and that's why we have actually a very strong malaria drug pipeline.